Hi everyone, I recommend that you purchase this book called Domestic Monastery. I have rights to read it to you, but I really hope that you guys all purchase this book and read it as a family. So let's get started. Chapter 1, Monasticism and Family Life. There is a tradition strong among spiritual writers that we will not advance within the spiritual life unless we pray at least an hour a day privately. I was stressing this one day in a talk when a lady asked how this might apply to her given that she was home with young children who demanded her total attention. Where would I ever find an uninterrupted hour each day? She moaned. I would, I'm afraid, be praying with children screaming and tugging at my pants. A few years ago, I might have been tempted to point out to her that if life was that hectic, then she, of all people, needed time daily away from her children for private prayer, among other things. As it is, I gave her different advice. If you're home alone with small children whose needs give you little uninterrupted time, then you don't need an hour of private prayer daily. Raising small children, if it's done with love and generosity, will do for you exactly what private prayer does. Left unqualified, that is a dangerous statement. It, in fact, suggests that raising children is a functional substitute for prayer. However, in making the assertion that a certain service, in this case raising children, can in fact be a prayer, I am bolstered by the testimony of contemplatives themselves. Carlo Carretto, one of the 20th century's best spiritual writers, spent many years in the Sahara Desert by himself praying. Yet once he confessed that he felt that his mother, who spent nearly 30 years raising children, was much more contemplative than he was and less selfish. If that is true, and Carretto suggests that it is, the conclusion that we should draw is not that there was anything wrong with his long hours of solitude in the desert, but that there was something very right about his years his mother lived in an uninterrupted life amid the noise and demands of small children. St. John of the Cross, in speaking about the very essence of the contemplative life, writes, "But they, O my God and my life, will see and experience your mild touch, who withdrew from the world and become mild, bringing the mild into harmony with the mild, thus enabling themselves to experience and enjoy you." In this statement, John suggests that there are two elements crucial to the contemplative's experience of God, namely, withdrawal from the world and the bringing of oneself into harmony with the mild. Although his writings were intended primarily for monks and contemplative nuns who physically withdraw from the world so as to seek a deeper empathy with it, his principles are just as true for those who cannot withdraw physically. Certain vocations, for example, raising children, offer a perfect setting for living a contemplative life. They provide a desert for reflection and a real monastery. The mother who stays at home with small children experiences a very real withdrawal from the world. Her existence is certainly monastic. Her tasks and preoccupations remove her from the centers of social life and from the centers of important power. She feels removed. Moreover, her constant contact with her children, the mildest of mild, gives her a privileged opportunity to be in harmony with the mild and learn empathy and unselfishness. Perhaps more so even than the monk or the minister of the gospel. She is forced almost against her will to mature. For years, while is raising small children, her time is not her own. Her own needs have to be put into second place, and every time she turns around, some hand is reaching out, demanding something. Years of this will mature most anyone. It is because of this that she does not need during this time to pray for an hour a day. And it is precisely because of this that the rest of us, who do not have constant contact with small children, need to pray privately daily. We, to the large extent, do not have to withdraw. We can often put our own needs first. We claim some of our own time. We do not work with what is mild. Our worlds are professional, adult, cold, and untender. Outside of prayer, we run a tremendous risk of becoming selfish and bringing ourselves into harmony with what is untender. Monks and contemplative nuns withdrew from the world to try to become less selfish, more tender, and more in harmony with the mild. To achieve this, they pray for long hours in solitude. Mothers with young children are offered the identical privilege, withdrawal, solitude, the mild. But they do not need the long hours of private prayer. The demands and mildness of the very young are a functional substitute.